So when I started, like any other engineer, no, 100 out of 100%, 99% was my enthusiasm, 1% was my no ability to execute. What's the idea was to build something world class from India, in India, by India, and today we are here.
I think there's been like this long-standing debate on why humanoids, why do you need that form factor?
As a human, we have a severe limitation of everything. You cannot lift much, you cannot run more, you cannot eat much, you cannot basically see to a distance. If you try to think too much, your head starts spiraling. So we are a limited design in everything. Unfortunately, I do not know why companies are trying to mimic human beings. It's a startup that means around 10,000 rupees per month salary and a lot of work, no Sundays, nothing. I could sell my dream to them and they believed in me as a founder, as an entrepreneur, as a company, and gave their best at their point of time. Otherwise, I will buy it back and I will replace with a complete solution. That peace of mind is what customer is looking at today.
Do you think that if you would have gotten funded way back somewhere in your journey, you would have had a different kind of a journey?
What I am doing is absolute madness. I do not recommend many people doing that. This looks good on interviews, but when you try to do that, this the pressure is enormous. 10,000 rupees, everyone made money. The company made money, their wholesaler, their distributor, their exporter in India, their agent, everyone made money. I interview more than 400 candidates per month, you won't believe. Almost 10 to 15 interviews per day I do to hire people. You will be surprised to know that only one or two people can answer three questions. Forget many questions. Three fundamental questions we ask from engineering. This is the state we are today. This includes all the colleges. There was a time when people used to refer to ChatGPT for solutions. Today, even they don't even read what it is telling you. They directly copy the thing and paste it. Either you are a true research company, or you have been successfully able to build a mass scale product which really works for 8 years, 6 years, 5 years down the line. That shows your true engineering capacity in terms of design, execution, and being able to innovate.
Hi, Pulkith. Thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it because you're among the very, very few early robotic companies of India, who kind of started building this ecosystem for the country as well. So really excited to know your journey and, what all products and what all mindset you've changed over the years to build what you're building right now. So yeah, thank you so much.
So thanks, Subhaya, for inviting me, giving me an opportunity to talk to a lot of robotic enthusiasts, friends, well-wishers with whom we otherwise can't connect. So thanks for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.
Great. Let's start about telling everyone that what all robotic solutions do you have right now in your belt so that we know that where we are going at.
So I started Gridbots in 2007. At that point of time, the idea was very clear that we wanted to build robots for defense. So with that concept, with that ideation, I started Gridbots. But I was very clear as well that no, at that point of time, I was not having enough funds, the pockets with me, and apart from that, that experience was missing, which you can basically with which you can build something world class. So I started, we started as a company, we started with industrial robotics. In the journey, we kept on, inventing a lot of new technologies and a lot of new ways of, achieving things. And from 2007 till 2020, like almost till COVID, we kind of designed and developed more than 25 robots and commercially installed them and were serving more than 2 dozen customers. Post COVID, we ventured into defense robotics. So at this point of time, if you look at our toolkit, we have two main offerings. One is defense robotics, and second is industrial robotics.
Okay, great. So we'll maybe get into the timelines of how did you build them and what went into building them, especially because Gridbot is a bootstrap company, right? So I
Yeah.
think that perspective will, I think, add volumes to a journey of any entrepreneur, I guess. So let's start way back because I think it's very important to understand why you got into robotics and why are you building a business around it, wherein at a time when nobody even understood what is a robot. Like people still don't understand it, but then back then it was like such a new field. And I think a person's kind of mindset gets shaped way back, when uh, he's growing up. So if you can tell us something about where were you born, a bit about your parents and early lifetime. Yeah.
I belong to a small city of Rajasthan, Jodhpur, where I did my engineering from government college called MBA Engineering College. And my parent, like my father, works for Intelligence Bureau. He has worked for IBMHA. My mother was working for state government. And they both have been always supportive enough. Like, since childhood, I was interested in doing something, related to machines, and I was opening a lot of, tape recorders and radios. So none of my radios or tape recorders ever worked at home. I always had them open and trying to, understand the circuits, how they're working. And my father always supported me. My mother always supported me. That is something I fortunate to have as my support. Even my father used to buy me electronic projects, books, and other things. So at a very young age, I was able to understand circuits, how they work, how they basically are, how the transistors work, how the resistance work. So in my seventh, eighth class, I managed to build a transmitter and all. So when I actually got into engineering, I was very clear what I wanted to learn because I already had a understanding about the computers and electronics by that time. So I chose mechanical engineering as one of my subjects which I could not do at home, so I should learn it properly. And by the time I was out of college, I already had participated in more than 40, 50 competitions across India. I had participated in Tech Fest and all national international competitions, and I could make a mark there. So by the time I graduated, I was very clear that robotics is something which I wanted to get into. Unfortunately, there were no robotic companies, so as to say that no, we're building robots. And when I graduated in 2004 from uh, engineering, so I had to join a US-based MNC where I worked for around 2.5 years, and then I started Gridbots because I was not feeling, you know, uh, satisfied enough that I was not working on something which I really always wanted to work. So that is where the Gridbots idea, concept was born, and I started. My parents again supported me. They have been supportive enough always. So they never stopped me. So it was a big decision because I was technical manager and I was very comfortable and at a very good position. Even I had an offer from Google and many other companies. So it was a very difficult decision for them to take. For me, it was very simple. But again, I knew that they are going to support me. That is where the journey started. Great Watts. The idea was to build something gold class from India, in India, by India, and today we are here.
Okay, great. So, where in your initial journey did you first hear the word robot?
So, like every other child, I also used to watch movies related to robots, and so at that point of time, there were movies like RoboCop and many other robotic things which were there. Transformers came a bit later on when I'm in college, but RoboCop is something which I know grew up watching, and something very similar Terminator and all. So those were the movies which basically shaped my thinking that there can be machines which can basically work alongside with humans or better than humans or something which can be created by us. So that idea itself was something which is intriguing because I always had this urge of understanding what makes something work. So that is the reason I was opening up a lot of devices at my home, and I really wanted to. Even today itself, I buy a lot of stuff from market, and I reverse engineer and understand the protocols and everything. So a hacker always I've been, and that is what I love doing all the time because I think that gives you a complete picture.
Okay, so with your work experience, can you tell us something about that which maybe helped you in your Gridbots journey before you started your company?
Yes. So, see, like any other student of engineering, when you basically, complete your engineering and you come out of a college, you want to change the world and want to make a difference and all, right?
Yeah.
But I think, but I think that limitation of yours, is something which is very important for you to understand. Some people learn it fast, some people learn it early, and some still take a lot of time. I was fortunate enough to be, basically knowing my limitations very fast by the end of my first and last professional journey, which I took for around 2.5 years. I worked on a lot of systems. I started in my company as a programmer only. 3 months later, I was technical manager, project manager. 6 months down, I was technical manager. I was managing people in 2, 3 countries. I was very young compared to a lot of people who I was managing, and I learned how to basically manage people, their expectations, their non-acceptance of you, timelines. Because I'm working for a US company, so timelines were a big problem for me. Challenges like people not willing to participate in what you. So I think all that is something which I'll credit to my first and last company, which basically made me a better professional than I was. I was very raw. Like every engineer is very raw until you work. So that professional exposure gave me, very quickly that understanding that when you are part of a big system, you're a cog only, and you need to think from that perspective first. That there is everyone like there are a lot of cogs around. So you have to basically make them to work synchronously to make work like a machine. So when I started, I used that experience a lot. So basically being able to manage my team, to manage my projects and customers and their expectations.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I think I found that in most of the robotics founders' journey that their previous jobs have shaped them to actually start the current, robotic startup because I think with absolutely no experience, you kind of sometimes get lost. And like you said, those people skills, those management skills are like much more helpful than the technical skills you of course, they are very essential, but then this sets the base of what you will build eventually, the values of your company, and I think the people that will come along. So yeah, for sure. So 2006 is when you kind of started Gridbots.
Seven.
What
Yeah.
was 2007? So what was your initial mindset like, and how did you pick like that first product?
So when I started, like any other engineer, 100 out of 100%, 99% was my enthusiasm. 1% was my ability to execute. But I was again fortunate enough. I sat with my father and told him that what I was planning to do and what I was willing to do, and he basically kind of consulted me. So I come from a very small city of Rajasthan, Jodhpur, where I was brought up, seeing the scarcity of water. You wouldn't believe, like today, it is very easy for everyone in India, to have access to clean drinking water. But when I was, very young, at that point of time, we had this water supply. Even today, even if you go to Jodhpur, Rajasthan, the water supply is no alternate days or after 2 days or 3 days. That is the water you get to basically drink. Otherwise, most of the water is coming is not potable. So I understood that no, this is something which is very essential. Water is very essential. So when I was in my engineering, we had this entrepreneurship development cell where they gave us the opportunity to just move around and see the businesses and opportunities to identify what you can do for the society. So my first choice was water supply department, where I thought I'll be able to do something with my understanding of technology or robotics. When I went there, I was surprised to see the water storage tanks which were supplying the water to us, which we were drinking like after 2, 3 days. It has carcasses of animals floating, a lot of things floating inside. I asked the officials why these are not covered. They said no, RCC cannot sustain the chlorine which is mixed in the water. So despite whatever we do, after 6 months or 1 year, the RCC structure cover will come down and they're exposed to the open, and then obviously there are animals which want to drink water. They will come and they will die of drowning. A lot of things which were put inside the tanks also. So they could never clean that because you cannot empty the tanks. So I thought, no, when I started Gridbots, I thought, no, I could no build something for industry and save their time, money. Why not build something which will save a lot of lives? Not everyone can have access to no ROs, or at that point of time there was zero B and all. So even people cannot afford that in no small cities. So they were drinking it by no just no using some cloth as a filter, and no they used to. And obviously with this kind of water you cannot no be safe. So I thought, no, I'll bring something like I'll do something for cleaning these tanks, and that is where our first product, which is called Saucer, was conceptualized, and we started building it. And maybe in 8 or 9 months, we came out with the first product. When I started, post that like 2008 chart, I think we had this product which we were testing with some of the municipal corporations. And by the 2008 end, we already had done more than dozen tanks cleaned across Rajasthan and Gujarat, demonstrated with capacity of saving the water. So you send this water robot inside, it cleans the base completely and takes out the water, which you can filter out and recirculate the water. So zero water wastage, and you can clean the tanks without emptying them. And for that, I got my TED fellowship as well. I'm a TED Global Fellow. Apart from that, I'm also MIT recognized as even our first customer for Bhava like for this application of this underwater robot for nuclear applications came head to us after reading about us. Like, no, there is a company which has indigenously developed underwater robot which can perform many things inside the water tank. So that was the first product, and I think that is something which was very wise of me to do, because it was never meant to make money. It was always meant to bring a difference. I think we could bring that difference. Today we use these robots in many municipal corporations, industries, many other places. Even we have done international operations, but the use of this robot still is no as good as it was in 2007. So I think there is need of a lot of such robots for the people to have access to clean drinking water. Countries like Africa and many other not so fortunate countries should be provided these kind of robots, and they can have access to clean drinking water at least. That is a basic human right.
Yeah, of course. How many of such robots have been sold, or kind of how many projects have these robots done until now?
So we do not sell these robots because they are costly and not a very good business model is around them. So people basically try to buy this from us, but then eventually
Hmm.
ended up not making much money, because you cannot charge people off, no, and these robots are costly. But yes, if you have to ask me how many operations, so more than 100 operations we have done across, where now
Hmm.
we have cleaned these no, tanks in Delhi, in Jhansi, in many cities, many countries also.
Hmm. Okay. So talking about your prototyping journey back then, wherein it was so difficult to get, all the parts that you would wanted. I think 3D printing as a technology was also not really there. So how did you make that prototype? How long did you take?
Hmm.
If you can talk us about the team that you kind of got together. Yeah,
Hmm.
some aspects of that.
Yeah. So see, 3D printing was not really relevant to us at that point of time till today, because of the reason that we were been building bigger machines. A lot of stress, a lot of payload, a lot of apps. No, ruggedization is required. So 3D printing was never an option for us. But we managed, no, because we had access to CNC machines. Not early, but yeah, in 2010 onwards, we basically, in 11, I think we bought our own CNC and VNC machine also. Before that, it was more like no lathe and no vertical milling machines, manually doing all of that. So we kind of buy no we bought a lot of machines in very early years. Also, we set up our own manufacturing shop. So that was always there. So that was the first thing we did. Initially, like 6 7 months, we did not invest in the machines. We were working with outsourcing vendors, but then we realized that no, we need to have a workshop. So we rented out a workshop, brought the machines. So that is something which we did very early in 2000, maybe no around 2007, and we already had our workshops up in that.
Oh, okay. And how did you develop a team for this to either build and then also go and make sure that the robots are used well?
So see, building a team always has been a challenge, because of the reason that when you are a startup. when you are a very young company, especially in our case. When you say startup at that point of time, today startup means a lot of money in the bank and VCs running and all. In our scenario, it was very different. It was like if it's a startup, that means no around 10,000 rupees per month salary and a lot of work, no Sundays, nothing. That is where that culture is something which I have been a part of, and I'm really proud of it. I feel that no, that is very important for anyone to be able to know until unless you are stressed, no, you are basically no put to test. You cannot give your best, right? I can give you a very hefty salary, but that the motivation will never be there because motivation then becomes the money part of it. But if your motivation is to deliver, then you really do not look into the salary part. And we are fortunate enough we come from that no mm, that era, I should say. So initially, I know had certain friends of mine and know a lot of good partners, I would say, with whom we worked. They never cared about the money. One of my childhood friends, Govind, he joined us very early, and so been fortunate enough that no, we never had that problem of finding good people. A lot of good people joined us, worked for very less. A lot of people I want to thank always, kind of no did not care. They took the challenges and been a part of this journey always. I could sell my dream to them, and they believed in me as a founder, as an entrepreneur, as a company, and gave their best at that point of time.
Right. I think still robotics as a field, you'll find more passionate people who are like working, just to be in this field, and then they believe in robotics as a solution. So yeah, it was more so ever to start in this field. I think you would require that level of passion for sure. Um, can you like tell me like a rough figure of how much would that first prototype would cost you? And how long did you take to build it before you deployed it, and versus how much do you rent it for like right now, a rough range, just to understand where does this type of industry stand.
So my initial, no, the product which we started, I said no, we built it around 7 8 months. We did a lot of trials here and there and all. Uh, no, our run rate was at that point of time around 50, 60, 70,000 rupees per month. So and the rest of the bill, so maybe 10 lakh rupees, 12 lakh rupees is something which I invested in building that first prototype of ours and matured it, traveled a lot with it here and there. And I myself used to get down into the water tanks, where you have snakes and everything, and only one access point with one rope you are getting in, putting the robot, and then asking the operator to move it left, right, and all because there is a huge flow of water. So I did that because I really wanted to, and so that was a part which we did invest, and then today we kind of build it on surface area which we clean. So it typically varies from let's say 5 7,000 rupees per square meter or so. So it's not very costly still. It's kind of no, because today you are competing against manual labors. Because today there are people who will basically empty out your tank, would clean them with some chemicals and all, and so that that part you still struggle to. But we really don't get into that. We are more into industrial tanks now, and portable tanks are tendered, so we will basically participate in tenders. So tenders again have very different kind of figures, so it varies a lot. But over the time we have tried to keep it as more like as a service to the society, not as a business line, because we have other businesses where we kind of generate revenues. This particular thing was always very close to me for the reason being the first product of Gridbots, and always know the reason behind it. So kind of even some customers tell us that no, they do not have much budget, so they still do it. So that is how we do it.
Okay, interesting. Um, and where did you get this initial money, right, to invest in? Because with no VCs and everything being bootstrapped, like, building the prototype and uh, until you get those initial customers who are ready to pay whatever amount that, you are interested in. So how did you get started back then?
So I had a few savings from my first job, and my family has been my VC always. So I think that is where my my initial money came from them. But we realized very fast that no, being a hardware company, being a robotics company in India is very difficult, and you cannot. No, at that point of time, no VCs, nothing, and I never wanted to reach out to the VCs at point of time also. So we started building no certain products and services around our robotic capabilities so that we could sustain. We do not have to run around every month to someone to basically lend us some money. We realized very fast and we basically improvised that, and with that we could uh, sustain till we ventured into industrial robotics in 2010. So 2007 till 2010 was a journey where it was more unstructured, but yes, we started participating in tenders. We started making money out of that. So we kind of became self-sustaining after 6 7 months that way, and then we have been positive and for a cash positive always not. Though there have been patches where no, there was a glut of not a single rupee in the bank account, but that is how it is. If you're not funded, you have to manage.
Right. Got it. So, your first product was the cleaning underwater cleaning robot. Post that,
Yes.
what did you get it?
So once, like in 2007, when we 2007 we built it, 2008 we rolled it, and we did some other products for ISRO, BARC, and many others. No, so by 2010 I realized one thing that no, we will not be able to grow or we will not be able to scale with this kind of no approach that we are no, because we were dependent upon the customer to order these things and then no, we execute it and then build them. So I said, okay, let's do one thing. Let us start with the industrial robotics as well. With our understanding of technology, let us build something because industrial robotics, the sales cycle is small. You have 3 months. So for first month, once you get the order for first month, you have to invest the money. For second month, you have to show it to customer and get the rest of the amount. And third month, you deploy and get your final payment. So we ventured into industrial robotics formally in 2010, where we started building our industrial robots. So our first product was a Delta robot which could pick and place things very fast. And I remember my first client being Caramel Glass. So that is where we deployed our first booth. And that was the right approach for us to basically be able to scale and grow. Then obviously there were a lot of believers who started, believing in us. But
Hmm.
yes, that was the time when we got into industry robotics to grow without
Hmm.
VC.
Oh, okay. Got it. So, you basically build a industrial arm, right?
Yes.
Um, can you talk to me about that journey of how did you build that? How did you prototype that? How long did you take? And yeah.
So we have been fast enough to prototype things because when it is coming to know your existential threat, you have to be fast. So when
Hmm.
we decided that we'll extend to that, we started experimenting. So in 15 days, we had our first model running, which we
Oh,
basically
really?
made some videos and shared. Yeah, we kind of prototyped very fast because of the reason we understood the physics, we understood we had the access to software design softwares at that point of time. So we were capable enough, and mathematics, foundation was solid. So we could do it very fast. We basically within 1 month we had our first no application video in the market already. We got our numbers. It was raw, but we could basically build it very fast. And once we did that, we basically I remember sending it to certain prospectors, and then we got one reply from Pyramid Glass. They were looking for a system, a full system which could basically pick up the bottles from their, they have one unit in Kosamba, Surat, where they have these nail polish bottles being built, made, and they are world's third biggest bottle manufacturer. So they have many units. The problem was that the laborers who were picking them up, they used to, they're restricted to wear something on their hand, like, because to avoid the fingerprints, but because it is too hot there, so they used to remove it and do it manually. And they basically shipped it to their customers in certain countries, and then they got their rejections because of the fingerprint marks on the bottles. So they were looking for solution, but no robotic company was basically able to do it that speed and overall solutioning. They were not interested in solution. So we took that as a challenge. We got an order for this particular thing, and then we basically improvised on a lot of things there. We used we made deflectors because the bottles were coming very fast. So we made deflectors for bottles and then grippers for bottles. They had 10,000 SKUs and they wanted one gripper, no change part. We used one gripper by which we could pick up more than 10,000 SKUs automatically. So all that we did, and yes, so that was a success which we had very fast. We could uh, improvise. We had our engineers. Remember being there 15 days in the factory and working day night, coordinating with my team in Ahmedabad, asking for them to do a change. Then they were putting that part in the bus. After 4 5 hours, we were receiving it, fitting it in the robot, giving the feedback back. Next day, they were again doing something. So it was a very quick, real, life thing what we were doing. We were not testing or prototyping enough. We were basically, building on the fly. So it is like, you're repairing a tire while you're on the move. So, but yes, it was fun. We could do it. Customer supported us. They understood, and we had a successful deployment very fast, very good, better than what they expected, and they were very happy with the overall thing. Because that was they were looking to, because obviously a big rejection coming from export order is a big loss to win.
Hmm. Right. How big was your team when you were building this prototype?
We have been always a small team. Today, even we are around 70, 60, 70 people going on off. Sometimes, 10, 15 less enough. We are always, a lean team, 10, 15, 20 people, 25, 30, 30. We do not, because I personally believe in being a founder that these robots cannot be, you do not have no requirement, or you do not have a requirement of 1,000 people or 500 people building these systems all the time. If your design is smart enough, maybe you can manage with 5 10 people on this. Because these are high value things, and if in a year if you are building, let's say today we have a capacity of 1,000 robots per year. So even if you sell one robot for 30 40 lakh rupees, you're talking about 300 crores. That much you can do with 30 40 people team, then it is smarter. Having a lot of people and trying to you know increase the headcount. Better you optimize the process. So that is where we have focused more almost, to have less dependencies, to have something which gets done at very minimalistic design and approach.
Like back then, say about 2010, when you started building this, where did you procure your parts from? Like, how did you find them? Because then I'm sure it must be very difficult to find them here in India. So, how did you go about doing that?
Fortunate enough that I was always building, in my
Hmm.
engineering, in my
Right.
job and started. So I knew people, I knew companies. I was reading a lot about international companies. So I knew where to source from, how to get it imported, and very early I could figure out that process. So I could source from Japan, I could source from Europe, I could source from US. So we were buying from everywhere because servo motors we were using were not in India. Harmonic gearboxes were not in India. High-speed cameras, compute boards, everything. So we have to source them. Controller boards. So we had to source a lot of from the countries. But that was the only way out. So we did that. Many things we built ourselves. So always know we built our own controller cards, our power drive cards. We could build them. We were building MOSFET controllers from in 2007 8 when not much reference designs were available, but we could basically design and deliver also and deploy them. So
Okay. You still have that product, right? Live in your
yeah, it
solution.
is. Yes, it's just.
Okay. So, what was because now it's been more than a decade. So, what was the cost of the product then versus what would be the approximate cost right now? Just to understand, the how did it evolve?
See, when earlier we were selling it, we were listing it as a robot. Unfortunately, fortunately, what happens is Your customer is in industry, right? And customer is
Hmm.
not interested in knowing and basically procuring a robot. What he's
Right.
interested in is a solution.
The
Right?
solution.
So
Yeah.
there's a huge difference. So earlier we were placed, kind of, selling it as a robot. When we used to give the quotation for a robot, then we used to tell them you have to buy a gripper, then you have to buy, no, the camera, then you have to buy a conveyor. So we used to give them the breakup and everything. What difference has come today is that we now sell it as a solution. We tell them that is a picking cell. You put your product from here, the product comes out, the back product comes out this way. Because see, educating the customer more will sometimes become difficult for you because they will not understand your overall. If I go to a customer and tell him, sir, this is a machine, यहाँ से डालो, वहाँ से निकालो, he's happy. If I go to and tell him, sir, a conveyor ले लो, then you buy a sensor, then you buy a camera, then you buy this, that, he will be saying, अरे भैया, tell me the exact thing. So overall cost, yes, 20-30% markup is there on the robot. Earlier, let's say if I was selling it for 20 lakh rupees, today I sell it for around 25 lakh rupees. But solution earlier, which used to cost, let's say, 20 lakh rupees, now it is 1 crore. Because of the reason that we have understood that, see, robot is such a component and such a, such a product. It is going to run 365 days, right? If I have got one machine which basically picks the bag and puts it on the conveyor, we do 30,000 operations per day with that. Right? 30,000 into 10 days is 3 lakh and 30 days is around 90 lakh. 1 crore pickups per month. In 12 months, it is around 12 crore pickups. Now, 12 crore cycles, if you are doing per year, any hardware will go and deteriorate. Right? It can go back. So, what we understood is that it does not make sense for me to position my product at a lower price. You need to position it at a good, reliable life cycle and productivity. Customer today does not mind paying that because they have understood, they have burned their hands. They bought, let's say, a cheap product and they have suffered a lot. So they understand. We tell them, sir, I can give you, let's say, for 75 lakh rupees also, but then I'm not going to give you any warranty guarantee. For 1 year, I will support you. After that, you are on your own. But if you give me 20 lakh, 5 lakh rupees more, I guarantee you 10 years of warranty. Even if this product, if some component of the solution goes out of life cycle, I will bring a new part and I will replace it. Otherwise, I will buy it back and I will replace a complete solution. That peace of mind is what customer is looking at today. So in industries, I think a bit of maturity is still is yet to come. But a lot of customers who have burned their hands, they have understood that okay, let us invest in quality rather than on the L1 pricing, which basically it creates a lot of problem for everyone.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. So after your second product, what was your next product? Host, industrial arm. Like, what were a couple of next products?
So we ventured into a lot of robotic arms. As a matter of fact, we are the only Indian company which makes around 7 types of robotic arms today. From 1 kilogram to 100 kilogram payloads, we make Delta, Scara, linear, articulated 6-axis, motor Scara, hexapods. No one in India does that as per my knowledge and the knowledge. So we have all deployments running. Our robots can go with a 10 micron linear precision and 1 by 10,000th of a degree rotation accuracy in certain products. And certain products are picking at products at 100 kilogram at 2 meter each. So diversity of product. So we did continue our research and deployment and production in robotic arms from 2010 onwards. But in parallel, we ventured into machine vision because what we realized and customer wanted was that your robotic products are, arms are good, but you have to still program them. Why don't you make them a bit intelligent? And we ventured into machine vision in 2013. We started building our own camera sensors, not a complete camera, not a sensor or something, a module which we assembled. But if it was a stereo module, it was calibrated. If it was a time of flight sensor, it was not properly oriented. So all of that we did, and we launched our own machine vision product series. But again, we were not. So in initial days also, we were not selling robots. We were selling robotic solution. Same we did with machine vision also. We were not selling cameras. We were selling a complete machine vision product or solution, which basically augments my product or any other product to behave more intelligently. Then we started making some standalone machines also because we realized that certain solutions might not just work with camera. You need to have a solution. So we launched a very complicated in terms of technology and a very unique product which is called solar glass inspection system. So solar glasses are basically patterned glasses. They have microprismatic structures, and a customer like Borosel, they came to us with a challenge that there is only a European company which is doing it with less than 70% accuracy. And we bought the machine and somehow it did not work very well. We took that as a challenge and we basically, within 30 days, we had this technology which could detect at an accuracy of more than 95%. Today, we are amongst only few companies in the world who have accuracy of more than 95% in detection and classification of defects in solar glass running at 20 meters per minute at 100 degrees. And these machines are installed not in India only, outside India as well now. And we have entered into a lot of other machine vision related, glass related products. So we only again a few companies in India, another world which manufactures mirror inspection systems. So mirrors are very difficult because if you put a camera in front of mirror, you will see yourself, right? So we have built a system which is very, very accurate. Certain customers have already given us the feedback. So we got into that. Then we got into powder inspection. Again, there we inspect a powder which is 50 micron, like your salt. Uh, we inspect 125 crore particles per second, and we can remove a particle, black particle, with very high accuracy from that. No, thing. So we use the concept of robotics and machine vision and AI and all that in that. So we ventured into that, and we kind of got certain products which are fastest in the world, not in India, fastest in the world and best in the world right now. We are selling them across globe. Uh, and then came 2015, we ventured into self-driving robots. So then we started building self-driving robots. Again, we are only few companies which manufacture today both indoor and outdoor robots. And indoor we go up to a 10-ton capacity, and outdoors we have up to 30-ton capacity, which is biggest in the market. These are L4, L5 capable outside and fully autonomous AMRs. Again, they are not running on any ROS or anything. We have written our own stack of autonomy where we do all of localization, path planning, obstacle avoidance, everything in house. Every code is running our own, and we can run that on a very small footprint and very effectively, very, very accurate with the accuracy of deviation of not more than 25 millimeter on 100-meter maps. So that is what we built over the years from 2007 to 2020. 2024, we also launched outdoors haulers, which are 10-ton tipper trucks. These trucks are used currently in certain countries for material, your ore transport. So JCBs are basically putting the ore in these trucks. These trucks will travel 10 kilometers and empty that out and come back. So there are 10 trucks which are moving non-stop. So that kind of autonomy and that kind of manufacturing we have. So these trucks are being made by us, only electric trucks. So that is what our product range is today. So in robotic arms, diversity in machine vision, we have diversity in self-driving robots, both indoor and outdoor. So we continue to innovate in industrial robotics still, and we are trying to partner with a lot of customers. We are focusing more on autonomy and more accuracy. But yes, we have deployments, proven systems, and Gen 2 and Gen 3 systems working on these factories now, which has given us a tremendous, I would say, advantage of being the first mover and remaining as one of the top-notch companies in technology. Because everything in robotics, in machine vision and AI, we have done ourselves. So we have written our own stacks. We have designed our own trucks, AMRs, robotic arms. We manufacture them in-house. We calibrate them in-house. And today we export also.
Interesting. Wow, that's like a lot of products under one, company. What is it? What is it? Does it take? Like, what kind of mindset does it take? Why are you venturing into so many multiple, solutions? And how are you even able to do that? In terms of R&D, the cost that requires it, and even the technology, like it's evolving so fast right now over the last 3-4 years. There's so much that have come up in robotics. What does it take, and why are you doing that? Like, why are you getting into multiple streams?
See, the reason why we are in all these segments is just for this reason that, or for the logic is that, see, you need to be in totality, right? We call ourselves full stack robotics. So until your robots have vision, your robots are not making no are making any difference, right, to the customer. Then it can be a Kuka farming for Gridbots. It does not make sense. But if it is a Gridbots with vision, then it is better than Kuka farmer combined, right? If my robot picks up something and puts it in a machine or something, right, then I need to provide a full autonomous robot which comes and, let's say I made a pallet. I with a my picking robot I filled a box. With that box, with using a palletizing robot, I made a pallet. With my pallet mover, I moved it inside a XG warehouse, and with outdoor forklift, I'm able to bring that pallet to a truck. So this is a totality of solution. So that is what we always wanted to build. A complete solution under one roof from an Indian company, and that is what we have been able to achieve. So we are able to provide end-to-end solution with our own products. So we are not today using any other product. So if it is a picking solution or camera and SCARA and all, that is my own. Then if it is a back, no box forming machine, it is our own. If it is a pelletizer, it is our own. Fork, no auto jack, it is our own. Forklift is our own. So this is the totality, and that is what we wanted to always do. Fortunate enough that we could do it in multiple stages with multiple customers. Now we want to make it sure that this, goes as a legacy as a company, that there is an Indian company which manufactures everything in house and are able to, do everything on their own. So I think that in the long run, for our country, for for the industry, it is always good. You do not have to rely, right? This is what we have seen over the years. Many companies denying selling products and solutions. I think that is something I really do not know. I'm not comfortable at, okay, anyone denying anything to India. So that is makes no. That is what makes you pinch that. No, why can't we do it? And that is where I feel that if we are able to do that, we basically are truly a country which basically becomes a leader.
Got it. But it's still very challenging. Like you have picked up a very ambitious role, right? What does it take? If someone who's listening this, what does it take to build such levels of R&D? Do you use certain innovation methodologies, or how do you come back to the board thinking about your next product? And why do you pick a certain product to go with? According to whatever is happening in your company timelines at that moment. How do you decide all of that, and how do you make sure that you prepare the costing and the team to make sure that you deliver the right kind of solution?
think what I am doing is absolute madness. I do not recommend many people doing that because it's very challenging and the most important and most this looks good on interviews, and but when you try to do that, this the pressure is enormous because you are not funded. First of all, the biggest challenge for you cannot fail. And that is what has been my. It has always supported me in a positive note. I cannot fail. So that is what I keep telling myself because I'll not be able to come out of it. So I never second option. In terms of engineering, so I am a avid researcher. I really love technology. I really want to. As I told you, I always want to see how things work. So when I was building a palletizer, so people told me that no company in India builds a palletizer was 40 kilogram, 80 kilogram at 2 meter. How to do it? What where you get the gearboxes from? Material of construction is different overall, and that is where I said, "Well, I'll do it." So the point behind every a new product is not that you want to show it to anyone. It is about being able to as an engineering company achieve that field. Why you cannot do it? If you can build a small robot, then why cannot you build a big robot? Because the challenges definitely will be exponential, but if you understand the technology, then you will be able to do it. And I think that with that conviction, I have always we have always tried to challenge. And see, if you look at today at the global context, right? Not many companies build big robots. Small robots are everywhere now because of the easy availability of the joint. You attach six joint and you have a six-axis manipulator. But when you talk about a six-axis industrial robot with a 20 kg capacity and still maintaining 0.05 mm of accuracy at the sixth axis, this is something which is a true challenge for an engineering company or as an entrepreneur. And I feel that challenge is something which drove me. Whatever is difficult and people tell you and someone tells you is difficult to achieve. I think that is what excites me enough to be able to do that. And so that is how. Secondly, as a businessman, so that is from the perspective of an entrepreneur or of a researcher. But if you have to put it in the true sense of a business, how do you basically make it sure that so see the first component of any solution is hardware, and then the software which will make it different or intelligent. Software is with us, we are capable because we do everything now, so we know that what it will take for me to make this robot intelligent and stand class apart. The challenge remains, most of that challenge remains as a hardware challenge there. And that is which I really love. So once you have done that, then your product is always one step ahead of your competition already. Then you go to the customer and tell him, say, sir, you buy this product, or you talk to these people and ask them to perform this. If they can do this, I will give you my robot for free. And that is where your no true you stand apart from that. So always try to make a product better than what exactly exists in the market. And to be able to do that, you need to have a control. I cannot buy someone's robot and make it better than their existing solution, isn't it? But if I build my robot, I can have 10 features which from design I can always incorporate them. Then only I'll be able to sustain and to be able to sell my robot also. Otherwise, if I end up being someone else's copy or someone else's product, I just try to put my hardware in. Then there is no true differentiator. Someone else might be able to do that as well with that product. So your complete limitation is just that product then, hardware. So I believe that for you to build a product, especially in our line in robotics, you cannot do that only with software. You have to have that thinking from ground up while designing the product. So from that ideation to the execution, your differentiators have to be at various stages: hardware, software, capabilities, implementation, execution. So you cover all of it, and then you have built something truly different from what exists in the market.
Got it. So presently, if we talk about all your products and how much of it do you build in-house versus how much of it you outsource, and what is it? What are the work that you outsource versus what is it that you build in-house, and how big is your space?
So we have around 40,000 square foot facility. We have more than 20 machines, which are VMCs, CNC bending. We also got our CNC laser now. So
Mm.
in terms of production, we do almost like 90% of the work we do in-house. Rarely we give outsource things. Otherwise, most of the things we do in-house. PCBs we design, we get them fabricated, manufactured by our partners in Gandhinagar. The rest of the things we do in-house. We have partners for painting and powder coatings, but the rest of the things again, assembly, testing is done in-house. So most of the products are designed, developed, tested, commissioned at the site. But yeah, the rest of the things are done in-house. We do not outsource much of it. because we have the machines.
Okay, got it. Do you think that if you would have gotten funded way back somewhere in your journey, you would have had a different kind of a journey, or you would have been somewhere else right now?
I would say that whatever it would have been, it would not have been like what exactly I am today and I've done today. Because my perspective has changed. And it is not that we have not been approached by PCs. So we got incubated by CII, which is IIM Ahmedabad incubator in 2009. For 1 year we were there. And we got a lot of opportunities, a lot of funds were interested. But I myself said no to them. I have told them that I'm not ready to use your money at this point. Because I do not have something which is true differentiator and I'll be able to multiply our money. Because you always want your money to be multiplied and don't know no uh, ones on that. That is what you are here for. But I think I'm not ready to make money for you. Uh, I want to I still prefer that. No, I'll build something. I'll test something. I'll more flexibility. I'm not no accountable. I'm not answerable to someone. Let me do whatever I want to. And still till today we are that way only. That I feel that no that freedom goes away with money, someone else's money. Then you have to start thinking from different perspective of 31st March closing amount. And I'm not that person. I never signed up for that. I always was making enough money that way. But this is where I make no fun life honest. Now this is what I really want to continue. Whether someone joins the journey or not, that is a separate thing. I'm really satisfied with what I've done, what I'm doing, my product line, everything. And I feel if you really absolutely do not need money, don't go on. You really have to scale and you have to do that, do it. Otherwise, money is a liability. Someone else's money is a bigger liability. I don't advise. It looks very good. It looks very, being a billionaire and moving in your Mac or your Ferrari. I think that you can always do that being in a job also. So what you can build here, what you can do here independently, no one asking for your no one asking for your probability and your what exactly you did and your time. I think that freedom is something which really is what everyone should chase. Is
Hmm.
you
Okay.
get to live once.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's like a very rare perspective from the startup ecosystem that's happening right now. And yeah, that's definitely one of the principles that most of the businessmen, back in the age, kind of a generation previous, kind of worked at, right? So yeah, it's interesting to hear that perspective from someone who's building right now, and especially from the robotics field, wherein every next day we find like a news of billions of dollars being raised for like a particular solution or R&D. So of course, I'm sure there are certain R&Ds that require that, but I think if you're building like a solution, there are other ways that you can go about, I guess. So yeah, sure. So as a founder of 2007 versus a founder of 2026, what mindset shift have you seen in yourself? Like, how did you think back then, and how do you think right now for the next, 5 to 10 years of your journey from here onwards?
See, my perspective has not changed much. I was as excited in 2007 as excited I am today about
Oh, is
robotics.
it? Okay.
Yes, yes. My motive of, as I told you, my motive never has been the money. So again, never it excited me at that point of time. I turned down a lot of offers that point of time also. Even today, I have a lot of opportunities as a company. We have a lot of opportunities of building a lot of money and minting a lot of money. But we choose very specifically to serve the nation first and do something which I really wanted to. So my core ambition was defense robotics, and that is where I stick to in from 2020 onwards. I focused more on it. So nothing much has changed from that perspective. Yes, good thing is that a lot of people are talking about robotics now. Still, so I think maturity is yet to come in the market, and there are buzzwords around, and and I think fundamentally, still we have a long way to go. Not, I shouldn't. I'm not saying that, but yeah, I think there is a lot of fundamental research and fundamental understanding still needed to be able to build something which is world class, right? To be able to compete against China, which is one of the fantastic uh, hardware ecosystems. If you look at today, something which being done by a lot of robotic companies and humanoid companies by China, I think it will take a lot of time for these companies to be able to cope up with that. And it is not because of the availability of the resources, and it's all about fundamental research being done here and the amount of investment being done and the right set of mindset, which is very. I think mindset is something which makes a difference.
So, what do you think that the Indian ecosystem needs to kind of level up to for the next generation of entrepreneurs or for the robotics ecosystem to develop better products, like you said, world class products?
See, the fundamental thing which is missing is engineering itself today. If you
Okay.
really look into the curriculum of you know, any college, you will get your answer. A fresher out of a college today cannot contribute much to the concurrent research which is being done. And that is the gap. We should be producing people who, right out of the college, at least, you should be able to use them at least from the 20% of the pyramid, right? But very unfortunate to see, the type of education system we have today. I do not think so that in next 5 years we'll have enough engineers left to be able to do something, very remarkable. It is not because of the sole reason of our education system. Today, the perspective and the mindset has changed. I interview more than 400 candidates per month, you won't believe. Almost 10 to 15 interviews per day I do to hire people. You will be surprised to know that only one or two people can answer three questions. Forget many questions. Three fundamental questions we ask from engineering. This is the state we are today. This includes all the colleges, IITs, NITs, state colleges, and experienced people, non-experienced people. Unfortunate. Maybe no, I might be wrong. I want myself to be wrong also. Maybe if I'm picking up the wrong set of people. This is my understanding and my observation today. That as a country, we are not on the right path. The young people are becoming more and more addictive towards quick success, quick solutioning. There was a time when people used to refer to ChatGPT for solutions. Today, even they don't even read what it is telling you. They directly copy the thing and paste it and try to forget about. So in between, it also tries to give you the justification, whether it is Claude, whether it is Grok, but no one reads that. They will just look for the answer to this is the software. So unfortunately, very unfortunately, if this continues, you'll end up with no non-engineers. There will be only people who are good with IT. They can copy paste things. But unfortunately, our industry requires fundamental understanding. People who can think out of the box. There are many people. I'm not saying that they have depth of it, but the new stuff which is coming out is that is my feedback about my observations. I may be wrong.
Got it.
But I
Hmm.
think that is what is very much required.
Okay. So, any of the robotic companies from India or around the world you think have got this right? Like any of your favorite companies, or or a company that you might look upon as a founder
There are a
or
lot of
as a product,
companies. I would
whatever
say.
comes to your mind, I guess.
See, I appreciate a lot of companies. Globally, yes, I love a few companies who are basically truly, engineering companies or truly robotic companies. And they are basically, improvising it. They are basically, trying to excel in what they are doing. So there are a lot of companies I appreciate, but to, name a few, I think Boston Dynamics is one, company which I really appreciate. not for the product what they have built, but I think for their uh, love for research. I think whatever they have been doing over the years is something which is truly remarkable. Right? That is which basically gives you that kick. That it is not always about they have not been commercially successful company as we all know that they got sold many a times. Not much profit. But I think robotics is not about that. Robotics is about something which where you do something remarkable. Unitary is one. Unitary I really love because of the reason that they again have innovated too fast. Now, within a few years, they have been able to beat Boston in their own game. Today, the products which they have at the price point and the agility and the capability, I love a lot of companies from China because of the reason that their focus always has been on the commercialization, right? They have built products which are really remarkable. I use a robot at home which I'm running since last 8 years, right? Am I vacuumed? Am I mop or something? You and I know, right? What goes in, right? Small DC motors, right? Maybe not $200, maybe some plastic components, right? Injection molded parts, arm 7 core, small lidar. 8 years, bloody 8 years, and it is running as good as it is mint fresh. So this is commercialization. This is what you really need to build, as a product for the end customers. You need not bog them down with robotics jargons. You need to have a product which is a true robot, which household lady is able to operate today. My mother operates very easily. She opens up the app and does gets her this thing. So I love those companies who have been able to. If either you are a true research company or you have been successfully able to build up a mass scale product which really works for 8 years, 6 years, 5 years down the line. That shows your true engineering capacity in terms of design, execution, and being able to innovate. So they did not stop there. Today they have more robots, more technologies. Whatever you read about here and there, they have implemented in the robots, right? And in consumer grade robots, so they have ultraviolet cleaning. They have got this steam cleaning. So I think this is what is true engineering all about, true robotics all about. So
Hmm.
not only build a
Yeah.
product which is good in lab, but something which is good at customers, and also.
Hmm.
We should be
Yeah,
focusing as a
for
country. We
sure.
should also be focusing more on that.
Right. And I guess if you're building it for India, then you need to maybe study the market more as to what kind of products do the Indian market require, right? Uh,
See, their products are being sold everywhere in all world, like all parts of the world, isn't it? MI vacuum for sells for 10,000 rupees, not more. Basic models. So 10,000 rupees, may everyone made money. The company made money, their wholesaler, their distributor, their exporter in India, their agent, everyone made money first of all. After that, you really do not need to do anything. It just runs. In case something goes bad, you have a 200 rupees ka replacement. This is what. So forget about the market study. See, market is very simple. Your product has to be a combination of lowest price, best performance. Like a Prius scooter, which my dad, your dad, or someone else's dad might have used. Then we use that still it is lying somewhere useful. So that is the product. Lowest like accessibility is there, but in the meantime, the product is capable enough to sustain. No, in the it's not life cycle. Like no, it should you should know already that if it is a household, someone will spill water on it, someone will drop it, someone will bang on it, someone will put thread which it will roll its brushes against. So this is something which needs to be done very fast if you really want to build something. And consumer grade say difficult as the industrial grade and then the defense grade. You are not able to build at this grade right now. We're talking about that grade. So you need to start somewhere, then you migrate to the next level. because consumer grade still you know everything. Temperature is okay, no, not too much dust, mud or all. Industries you have lesser control. Defense you have no control. So all that ruggedization, all that thing will come as a maturity in your design. Would you start with the lower? So I think our engineering, our industry, our robotics should focus and build something which basically can be upgraded to the next level, keeping in mind the accessibility of this.
Got it. Any specific robotics founder you follow, or any mentors you have, in this journey of building such robotic solutions?
Do not get much chance of following the founders, so as to say, because they too are busy and I'm also busy. But to answer the second question, basically, so yes, a lot of things are going on in robotic ecosystem. In the concurrent markets right now, especially in the US, there's now they are trying to focus more on make in USA. So they are trying to do something indigenously, and they have already have a very good access to a lot of funds and a lot of technologies already existing in the market. So I do read a lot what exactly they are doing there. Then obviously China, although is very limited in terms of exposure to the outer world, but that is something which we can always refer to and should look to, because I think uh, they are building something of next level. They are building something which can be commercialized and which basically sustains the life cycles, or the difficulties, or the implementation and commercialization. So I do keep a track of a lot of concurrent happenings around the world. What exactly various countries are doing. More focus has been on the defense now, but still, whatever comes under my radar in industrial robotics or applications or machine vision, I think we have to read that and implement that.
Okay. So, of course, you mentioned that you have like a vacuum cleaning robot at home, right? What are the other robots that you use maybe in your home or your office space? And also, what are the robots that you see coming up in next 5 to 10 years that you would be interested to adopt, or you would like to have, like something like humanoids or anything else that you have in mind? Like your future, your vision of the future, kind of.
In terms of robots, I think that is the only robot I use because of the unavailability of the maids around. At workplace, yes, we do a lot of robots. We use a lot of robots all
Mm-hmm.
the time because our work is that only. Humanoids, I have a very limited, no, I see a very limited capabilities. See, as human beings or as a human, we have a severe limitation of everything. You cannot lift much, you cannot run more, you cannot eat much, you cannot basically, see to a distance. If you try to think too much, your head starts, spiraling. So we are a limited design in everything. Unfortunately, I do not know why companies are trying to, mimic human beings. There are various, animals and designs around us which are always better than us in everything. So, if it is an eagle, it can see more, right? If it is a cheetah, it can run faster. If it is an ape, it can, it has more power. But still, being a limited physical design, see, we humans are good as a, as a thinking machine. Right? Our brain is evolved most, but as a bio design, we are, very bad. We are very, inefficient designs, masters. We cannot, and with age, are we again deteriorate? Obviously, we will, but not, as compared to others, it is very limited. No capability is one hand, modern, life again. So I do not understand, and I personally do not feel that we should be trying to mimic humanoids or humans as robots. Right? There can be specific designs for a specific applications. So if you want a household, a help, maybe you can relate more with a human. That is, I think, might be the reason why people are trying to build humanoid robots. But I think, there has to be multiple versions of robots around. for very specific applications, isn't it? Right? That is what I feel. So I am not very much excited about humanoid robots, so as to say, because I feel personally they are not following the right design. They are mimicking
Interesting.
something which is very limited design.
Right, right. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think there's been like this long-standing debate of why humanoids, why do you need that form factor? And I think we'll know in the years to come what actually I think suits the best for sure. Um, Coming back to your, defense line, we saw your robotic solution, in the Republic Day parade this year. Can you talk to us about how did you get there? And how was all of this approached? And what made the robot run, walk down that aisle?
Yeah. So see, it has been a part of a bigger no effort which we've been doing since 2020. It is not that one day we I got a call. So what happened was like no when we 2020 onwards when we started building the robots, we for the defense we basically tried to showcase it to multiple agencies like various exhibitions and all. And we happened to ban the basically meet with some people from ADB Army Design Bureau. And we showed them what exactly we are building. Zeus is one of our very capable UGVs. It is fully autonomous, can run miles and miles, and has vision and mounted weapon stations. So they liked the idea and really talked about us. And as a matter of fact, one tender worth around 560 crores were drafted. A lot of specifications basically were inspired by our robot, and that got acknowledged in pre big meetings also by IDB itself that they wanted to incorporate a lot of features from successful good robots. That was our first stint with ADB. Then we kept on meeting a lot of time. We have been demonstrating our capabilities at Babina in various fields, firing ranges and all. But they like the product always. We have Titan and Zeus. These are two big UGVs, which are very capable and can carry weapon stations, ATGMs, missile launchers, and all. So they always like the idea and they always do a lot of tenders and other things who always incorporated their details, capabilities. And so one fine day we got a call from ADB that they wanted to display Zeus Hitman the RT parade. And that is was the point of being engaged with them. Around 2-3 months back, I think in September, October they contacted us. And Zeus was sent in December in Delhi. So it was basically around 145 days before it was shipped there. All the preparations done. And on the D-Day, we saw our product being readied and for the respected president and prime minister and a lot of thousand, 100 crore people. We, that sense of pride always will remain with me. And we built something and we did not sell it to the army. It was it was invited as a wild card. So I think they considered us worthy, our product worthy enough to be made as a part of the army contingent. So I think that itself is enough for me or our complete team to feel so proud about our work. So I am thankful to the people at ADB. A lot of so big shout out to all the people at ADB.
Hmm.
They gave us an
Right.
opportunity to be able to show what I know Indian companies are capable of doing in unmanned ground vehicles.
Hmm.
As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, our product got attention from Israel also, America also.
Hmm.
Many a times the trials have been so we are trying to make it as a world class product.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, it's always like a long journey, like a way back. Like you went back 5 years when you kind of started, that conversations
Yes.
with them for some other things. So it's always like a way long journey. You think that, you kind of cracked it right now, but then yeah, it's like the
Yes.
base that you created is what matters for sure.
Yes.
Very interesting journey with like so many multiple products under your belt with like being bootstrapped. being one of the very initial companies to build in a space which is like so, which has been so challenging. The mind of a robot is just being developed. So um, any advice you have for the next generation of entrepreneurs, like what is it that they need to look out for right now if they are building in the next 1 to 2 years, and what all things maybe um, yeah, they can consider or not consider? Yeah, anything that you would like to share?
See, with my limited experience, I would say that they should focus more on creating value. You have to think from
Hmm.
the perspective of a user. Why we will pay you some money to buy your product? What problem you really solve for that?
Hmm.
I think if you can focus on that, and that is, and do not stop there. Just try to make it sure that your product is the best in the world. I think you might be making a lot of money. You might be able to make a lot of money, but then you should see that that excellence has to be there in your product. That if someone
Hmm.
enlists the product, your product should be in top three, if not first. I think that is what value creation is all about. That is where your true contribution will put. As a founder,
Hmm.
this is what I feel, because
Hmm.
money is always an after effect. Money is something which is secondary only. It will definitely through value. If this is if you focus on value, I think that is something which is the most important thing which is there, and you should focus upon as a young entrepreneur.
And how can they create that value? What are the certain parameters they can look for, and either how can they do a better market study, or how can they build a better product? How is it that they can add more value?
See, as I said, no, the focus has to be there in the terms of usability. Like, suppose I'm building for a consumer grade product, a robot which is consumer grade. We need to look into the durability, reliability, ease of access, ease of using it. Different segments of market should be able to use it. So it's all about what exactly as a value add what you can do. So you can do a market survey. You can see okay, there are 5 products in the market. These are their pros and these are their cons. So you focus on building something which, if not all, at least solves 2, 3 cons of others. Basically, shortcoming of others. So that way, what you are trying to do is you're trying to improvise. You're trying to basically build a better version of something which is existing. As an entrepreneur, that is what your focus should be. Because if India has to become a superpower or a next leader in technology, rather than being an importer only, our products have to be good. Our products have to be, if not best, at least second or third in the market. That is something which is very important. Otherwise, today, what it used to be for Japs, in pre World War, that they were the worst in quality. And today everyone says no, the Japs, like if it's a it's a good product, they will say it's a Japanese product. I think it should be like that. Today we do not, as a country, we do not relate to a good quality. We do not relate to authenticity. We do not relate to durability. So, next generation entrepreneurs should focus on these aspects. Our products should be. I'm not saying everyone. Yes, there are very good products coming out of India also. But in totality, if everyone focuses on doing that, I think there will be a mass scale impact on the psyche of the country, psyche of the entrepreneurs, and that is where I feel that we need to focus upon.
Got it. Okay, great. That's like a very intense journey that you've been through. Thank you so much for sharing it with me, and then in turn with the entire community as well. I'm sure they'll be able to pick up a lot many things, from that journey. And I would definitely love to sit with you again somewhere down the line to understand your next part of your journey when another more of your thousands of robots have been deployed, and I would love to know the journey of those products as well. So thank you so much for your time, and yeah, looking forward to meet you soon.
Thank you, Supriya. Thanks for giving an opportunity. I do not know how much value I might be able to add to your viewers, but I just try to share what exactly I've been through and what I feel and believe. And I think the podcast like yours should be though really appreciated, and I So, it's a shout out to you that out of so many podcasters, who chase, $1 billion, founders and successful people, we chose to focus on the robotic segment, which is unfortunately is not very exciting. In terms of people who are willing to start and to basically choose robotics as a career option because of the reasons that not much
Right.
no information has been there in the market. So thank you very much
Right.
for giving me an opportunity.
Yeah.
My wishes to you as well, and look forward to meet you someday.
Yeah. Thank you so much.